Millennials, Generation Y, the me generation. It's a hot topic that all employers have been discussing, as well as asking themselves, how do we recruit, engage, and retain the millennial generation? Hi, my name is Megan Baranchia, and I am a millennial. I'm here to share some personal insight as well as what I've learned by interviewing others of my generation. First and foremost, the main thing to understand about our generation is that we are very purpose-driven. You probably wonder, what does that mean to employers? It means that some are driven to help others, driven to help animals, driven to be healthy, driven to help the environment, or driven to solve problems. What drives me personally? Well, that's easy. Being active and healthy, and giving back to my beautiful community. Participating in these activities gives me energy and a great feeling of accomplishment. Before I dive deeper into the ways to recruit, engage, and retain the millennial generation, let's touch lightly on other generations that make up the current workforce. We have the traditionalists, the baby boomers, Generation X, and Generation Y. Each generation has had defining moments in history that have shaped their ways of doing things. For instance, the Great Depression greatly affected traditionalists. This generation found a job and stuck with it for a lifetime. They never wasted anything, were constant savers, and avoided risk-taking. The baby boomers were impacted by the civil rights movement and the sexual revolution. They challenged the status quo and put a man on the moon. Generation Xers were the offspring of the baby boomers and often grew up as latchkey kids. They are independent and entrenched in the tech revolution. And of course, my generation has been impacted by 9/11 and doesn't know a world that isn't technology driven. Somehow the millennials as a generation have quite a bad rap. Employers think we are self-centered, spoiled, can't take criticism, career hoppers, want everything now, and need constant attention. Well, let's take a moment to look at how we were raised. We grew up always being told that we could do anything we wanted to if we just set our minds to it. We were also taught to follow what makes us happy. I remember one day coming home from school crying because my teacher told me that I should play inside with the girls instead of playing ball outside with the boys. This idea just crushed me because I wanted to play ball so badly. So my wonderful mother sat me down and taught me a life lesson I will never forget. She told me, "Honey, you can do anything that the boys can do except stand up and pee." It was wisdom such as this that has created a generation that doesn't see the differences in race and gender as difficulties. A generation that is caring, accepting, environmentally conscious, tech-savvy, team-oriented, purpose-driven, and the most educated of all generations. I am sure most employers are aware, millennials now make up over half of the current workforce. They have surpassed the baby boom generation in numbers. Any employer running a successful business today knows that you can't have great products or services without great employees. Conventional wisdom tells us that if companies put their employees first, their employees will put their customers first. So essentially, it's time for employers to create environments that are conducive to the millennial generation. This is where my blog will be helpful. I share many different ways that employers can recruit, engage, and retain my generation. I discuss topics like internships, mentoring, communication and feedback, career paths, wellness, work-life balance, flexibility, volunteering, measuring engagement, networking, and how to reward millennials in the workplace. I share insight into my generation. I am a millennial. In the end, what I learned from this experience is that millennials want to work for employers that care about what drives their employees. We are all motivated by different things, but if employers understand that motivation, then they can sit back and watch the success that comes from it. Follow me on Twitter at mbaranchia or follow my blog at www.mbaranchia.wordpress.com.